The old brick orphanage stood on a hill, its weathered bricks telling stories of decades gone by. The building, with its tall arched windows and creaking iron gates, had seen generations of children pass through its doors. It was a place that seemed both imposing and protective, a silent guardian watching over the town below. From her favorite window, Lila could see the rooftops of the town stretching out like a patchwork quilt. She watched the seasons change from that very spot, snow blanketing the streets in winter, flowers blooming in spring, the golden haze of summer, and the crisp air of autumn. Lila, with her bright, curious eyes, knew every corner of the orphanage and every secret path that wound through its gardens. She knew every floorboard, every creak and groan of the old house. The laughter of children echoed through the halls, and though they came from different backgrounds, they shared a bond stronger than blood. The other children were her family, her brothers and sisters in spirit, each with their own dreams and stories. The caretakers moved through the rooms like distant aunts and uncles, offering gentle guidance and quiet comfort. They were kind, but always seemed to keep a part of themselves hidden, as if protecting their own hearts from too much attachment. Lila often wondered about their lives before the orphanage, and sometimes she caught glimpses of longing in their eyes too. She dreamed of a life beyond those walls, a world where she could belong to someone, and someone could belong to her. A life filled with love, laughter, and the warmth of a true home. Until then, Lila found solace in her books. She spent her days curled up in sunlit corners, escaping into stories that took her far from the orphanage. Each book was a doorway to another world, a place where anything was possible and every ending held hope. She got lost in books, her imagination soaring on the wings of adventure and romance. Tales of faraway lands, brave heroines, and grand romances filled her heart with longing and wonder. Sometimes, she would close her eyes and pretend she was the heroine of her own story, waiting for her life to change in ways she could barely imagine. Every day, she held on to hope. Hope that one day, her own story would blossom, that she would find a place to call her own, and that love would find her, just as it did in the pages of her favorite books. In the quiet moments before dawn, as the first rays of sunlight crept through her window, Lila promised herself she would never stop believing in the magic of new beginnings. The aroma of fresh bread drew Lila in, wrapping around her like a comforting embrace as she stepped through the bakery's door. The scent was intoxicating, yeasty, warm, and just a little sweet, promising comfort and possibility. It was the kind of smell that made you want to linger, to let your worries melt away in the presence of something simple and good. It was a Saturday morning, the kind where the city felt gentle and slow, sunlight streaming through the bakery's windows and painting golden patterns on the tiled floor. Lila had woken early, restless, and found herself wandering the quiet streets of downtown. The little bakery, with its cheerful blue awning and handwritten chalkboard sign, seemed to call to her. She pushed open the door, the bell chiming softly overhead, and was greeted by the warmth inside, a world apart from the cool morning air. At the counter stood a man, tall and broad-shouldered, his presence somehow both commanding and gentle. He wore a tailored coat, but there was nothing stiff about him. His posture was relaxed, his hands tucked casually into his pockets as he waited for his order. There was a kindness in the way he glanced around the bakery, as if he was taking in every detail, savoring the moment just as much as Lila was. He was handsome, but not in the way of movie stars or magazine covers. His features were strong and honest, his eyes a deep, thoughtful brown. When he smiled, it was with a quiet confidence that made Lila's heart skip a beat. She recognized him instantly. Mr. William Hawthorne, the successful businessman whose name was whispered with admiration throughout the city. He was a man known for his sharp mind and generous spirit, but also for his air of mystery. Few people claimed to know him well. William Hawthorne was a figure both admired and enigmatic. Stories about his philanthropy circulated in the community. Anonymous donations to the local library, scholarships for students, and quiet acts of kindness that never made the headlines. Yet he was rarely seen at social gatherings, preferring solitude or the company of a good book. This morning, though, he seemed perfectly at ease, lost in the simple pleasure of a bakery visit. As Lila moved closer to the counter, their eyes met. For a moment, the world seemed to pause. Lila felt a blush rise to her cheeks, and a shy, involuntary smile curved her lips. She was surprised by her own reaction. She was usually reserved, careful with strangers. But something about William's presence made her feel seen, as if he understood her in a way no one else had. William noticed her smile and returned it, his own smile gentle and genuine, reaching all the way to his eyes. There was a warmth there, a spark of recognition, as if he too felt the strange electric connection between them. In that brief exchange, something unspoken passed between them, a sense of possibility, of new beginnings. He turned to the counter and ordered a loaf of bread, his voice low and warm with a hint of laughter in it. The bakery staff greeted him by name, and he responded with easy familiarity, making Lila wonder how often he visited this place. As she watched him, she felt a flutter in her chest, a mix of excitement and nervousness, as if she were on the edge of something wonderful and unknown. For Lila, it was a feeling she had never known before, a sense of wonder, of hope, and of the possibility that sometimes the most extraordinary moments begin in the most ordinary places. As she stood in the golden light of the bakery, heart racing, she realized that this simple Saturday morning might just change everything. William found himself returning to the little bakery more and more, as if drawn by an invisible thread. The scent of fresh bread and the gentle hum of conversation became a comforting backdrop to his days. Each time he stepped through the door, the world outside seemed to slow down, replaced by the warmth and familiarity of the bakery's golden light. It wasn't just the pastries that called to him. It was something, or rather someone, much more compelling. William was captivated by Lila's laughter, the way it filled the room and made even the dullest afternoon feel alive. They would sit together for hours, sometimes talking, sometimes simply sharing a comfortable silence. Their conversations wandered from light-hearted jokes to the deeper questions of life, weaving a tapestry of connection between them. With every visit, their bond grew stronger, and William found himself looking forward to these moments more than anything else. He began to open up, sharing stories of his travels, tales of distant cities, bustling markets, and quiet, starlit nights. Lila listened with wide, curious eyes, hanging on every word. She asked questions, eager to know more about the world beyond the bakery's walls. And William delighted in painting vivid pictures with his words, hoping to bring her along on his journeys, if only in spirit. In turn, Lila shared her own dreams, hopes of one day traveling, of opening her own little cafe, of finding a place in the world where she truly belonged. William listened intently, offering encouragement and gentle support. He admired her determination and the quiet strength that shone through her words. Their conversations became a safe space, a place where both could be honest and vulnerable. As the days passed, William began to notice the small things, the way Lila's eyes sparkled when she spoke of her passions, the gentle kindness in her gestures, the way she listened without judgment. He saw a deep goodness in her, a light that seemed to brighten even his darkest moods. At the same time, Lila sensed a quiet loneliness in William, a longing that mirrored her own. In each other, they found understanding and acceptance. Their connection grew beyond the walls of the bakery. They began to spend time together outside, wandering through sunlit parks and sharing peaceful moments on quiet benches. In these stolen moments, away from the bustle of daily life, they found solace in each other's company. The world felt softer, more forgiving when they were together. With every shared laugh, every story told, and every silent glance, something new and beautiful began to grow between them. It was the beginning of a unique bond, one built on trust, understanding, and the simple joy of being together. Their friendship blossomed. It became the talk of the town. People whispered. They questioned William's intentions. How could a man of his stature be interested in a simple girl like Lila? The rumors reached Lila's ears. They stung. William reassured her. His feelings were true. He cared for her deeply. He wouldn't let the doubts of others dictate his heart. Lila was scared. But, William's love was a steady hand. He gave her strength. He treated her with respect and kindness. He saw her, not her past. They continued their walks. They had picnics under the stars, their love a silent symphony against the world's discord. They found solace in each other's arms. They were a beacon of hope for each other. Slowly, Lila saw the barriers crumble. The children at the orphanage adored William. The caretakers saw the genuine affection in his eyes. He treated them like family. He was changing their lives with his kindness. He was building a home for them, a home filled with love and laughter. He found his purpose in their smiles. One night, under a canopy of stars, William took Lila's hand. He confessed his love. He spoke of forever. He got down on one knee. Tears welled up in Lila's eyes. She said yes. It was the easiest yes she had ever uttered. The ring, a simple band of gold, held the promise of a future together. It was a symbol of their unwavering love. Their wedding was a small affair. It was filled with joy and love. William, true to his word, gave the orphanage a new life. He renovated the building. He funded the children's education. He provided resources and opportunities. The once drab walls were now adorned with colorful murals, and laughter echoed through the halls. He gave them more than just a building. He gave them a future. Lila and William's love story became a beacon of hope. They proved that love knows no boundaries. It thrives in the most unexpected places. They found their home in each other. They built a family on love, acceptance, and a shared dream of a brighter tomorrow. Their story reminded everyone, love always finds a way, it conquers all.